2020 is finally here, and I'm going to share with you how to make sure that 2020 is a great year for you, successful year, and you're able to hit all of your goals in 2020. Hey friends, welcome to Freedom in a Budget. Today we're going to talk about 2020, how to make sure that you hit your goals, how to just start the year off right and make sure that it is a successful year and a year that you're proud of, and a year that you can look back on and know that you made a difference in your life, you made a difference in other people's lives, and you made steps forward. And it was not just a year of, oh, this year sucked, right? No, we don't want that. We want a good year. So the first thing is to reflect on 2019. What were your successes of 2019? What could you have done better? Look back. Did you make goals in 2019? If you did, look back on those goals. What goals did you hit? What goals did you not hit? Did you not hit them because they were too far? Did you not hit them because you gave up? What's the reason for not hitting them? And then what do you need to do in 2020 to make sure that those goals are hit and those goals are in line of what's going to put you forward? I made a video a couple weeks ago on how to hit your 2020 goals, how to make sure that you are making them happen. So it's a really great video. I went over my personal goals for 2020, my personal goals, my business goals, and then I went over a whole plan of how to make those happen. The second thing to do to make sure that 2020 is a successful year for you is make sure you have a budget. Create a budget. That should be rule number one. Let's be honest. Creating a budget is a game changer on how to hit your financial goals. I still keep a budget. I've had the same budget for several years now. I have perfected it and really just tweaked it throughout the years to make sure that is one that is attainable. It's a budget that motivates me and that I'm able to stick to. So if you do want a copy of my budget, I'll have it down below in my Etsy shop. It is on sale right now, so I'll have it for you guys. But honestly, tracking your spending, having a budget, that is really going to help you to hit your goals. And you need to know what you're bringing in at the beginning of the month, what you expect to spend, what savings goals you want, what debt payoff goals you want. That's really going to help you to make sure that you're hitting those financial goals, because financial goals are so important. Whether you're debt-free, not debt-free, deep in debt, wherever you are financially, you should have financial goals to get to that next level, to push you a little bit, to make even more progress, or maybe to give more. Whatever your financial goal is, having a budget is really going to help you to achieve that. The next step is to increase your 401k by 1%. If you don't already have a 401k, you need a 401k. But what I always do is increase our 401ks by 1%. Now, if you are like me and you get an annual raise, we get an annual 3% inflation raise every single year. So I take 1% of that and put it towards my 401k, and then I still receive that 2% raise. So I don't feel a difference even though I'm increasing it 1%, because I'm still using that raise that I've gotten, and then I still get to reap the benefits of that 2% raise, and I'm able to put that 2% towards savings. So I think now my 401k is up to like 12%, even though our match is only 7%. So we've passed our match, but we're still reaping the benefits and we're still pouring into our retirement. I think we contribute maybe 20% towards our retirement every single year, which is great. Next is find a high yield savings account. You want your money working for you. If you have all of these goals to save all this money and really start doing big things with your money, you need somewhere that you can keep it. If you're keeping your money in a typical bank like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, one of those banks, you're making crap on your interest. Let's be honest. When I had Bank of America, my interest rate was like 0.001%. I was making a penny of interest every single month. It was ridiculous. Now I have Capital One 360, and I just did a video a couple months ago talking about their new performance savings account, which you get 1.7% interest right now, which is a lot. That is 5 times the national average, which is so cool that you can start having your money work for you. And then if you sign up with the link below, you get a $25 bonus when you deposit $250. So right there, you're getting $25 bonus, plus you're gonna be getting 1.7% interest on your money, which is amazing. That is a huge benefit in making your money work for you, right? When you're paying off debt and you have, credit cards or car loan or student loans, interest is your worst enemy, right? You hate paying interest. You hate seeing interest on your statements and your bills, and it sucks. But when you're debt free or when you have your money working for you in a savings account, then interest is your best friend, right? Compound interest. It is the eighth wonder of the world when it is working for you, not when it's not working for you in debt. So have a high yield savings account. They're amazing. I love me some Capital One 360. Next is to plan a spending freeze. So many people will do a no spend month. Now, trust me, I have done plenty no spend months in my day, but honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of them anymore. They work for some people, but I found that with me personally, and I want to give you guys my personal own life experience, I found that I was spending more right before the spending freeze and then right after, because I was waiting until the end of the month to buy all this stuff that I needed, or I would stock up on all this stuff because I knew I wouldn't be able to spending. So instead of doing that, what I do is I'll do a category spending freeze. So I will pick a category for a month and do no spend on eating out this month, no spend on, I don't know, activities this month, or really cut my gas budget low, like only running errands on one day of the week and making sure that I'm really conserving my gas, or I don't know, groceries, doing pantry challenges. So different things like that, and only cutting out one category or making that one category as small as possible. I just did a video recently on savings challenges, so I'll have that down below for you guys, but it really helped to just kind of open up your eyes to different ways that you can save and that you can cut back in different areas. Next is get a life insurance policy. Now, I know that I've talked about Besto a lot on my channel. They're amazing. I love them. This isn't sponsored by them, but I do love them. But having life insurance, guys, it is a game changer in just having the peace of mind. What if something were to happen to you? What if something were to happen to your spouse? My husband, Jamie, works a very dangerous job, and he's on lighting designer at like live production, up on rigs and up in lifts and doing all this stuff. And, you know, he's on the road, and what if something happened to him, God forbid? Well, because of our life insurance policy, money would be taken out of the equation, and, you know, we would be covered financially, as morbid as it sounds. But, you know, do you have a family? Do you have a home that you would have to pay the mortgage for? Different things like that. Having a life insurance policy is not only giving, you know, you and your family members peace of mind, but if something were to happen, of, you know, having those funeral expenses taken care of, having all of that. So it really isn't expensive. It's amazing how affordable term life insurance is. I'll have a link for you guys down below. You can do a calculator, figure out how much it is, under 5 minutes. They don't have any, you don't have to do a medical exam or anything like that. You do it all online. It takes less than 5 minutes. It's amazing. So life insurance, it really is great for getting, you know, things in order. And I've really realized that as an adult, like, there's extra insurances that you need to have, and different things of like, oh crap, I've procrastinated this too long, like having a will and different things like that. And it's time to get that stuff in line, and to, I hate to say it, but to grow up a little bit. But having life insurance is amazing. Next up with that is have a will. Have a will. Guys, if you are married, if you have kids, if you have a house, all of that, it's amazing, like the logistics, the legal aspect of all of that stuff. If you pass away or a family member passes away and there isn't a will, of how complicated it is, and probate and everything. Oh, guys, as much as you don't want to think about it, I remember having to, this doesn't really have to do with a will, but I remember planning out my mom's funeral when I was 16 years old with her sitting in front of me, because we knew that she only had a couple weeks left to live. And that was one of the hardest things of my life. And it was devastating to be sitting there as a 16-year-old and planning your parents' funeral, your mother's funeral, with her right there, sitting you across from you. And, you know, but we had that stuff in place. And yes, it sucked. Yes, it was hard. But the peace of mind that we had afterwards, that things were taken care of. You know, she had, you know, insurance for the funeral. We didn't have to go into debt for that funeral. You know, and just having those things in place, it made things easier, as hard as they were at that time. Next is automate as many payments as you can. This may seem a weird one, but it really does make a huge difference. When you can put as many bills on auto pay, and put your savings on auto pay, put your investments on auto pay, it can make such a difference. I remember talking to my friend Brad from the Fin Mindset when he had his baby, and he had all of his bills on auto pay. So they were in the hospital, they were dealing with the baby and dealing with all that stuff. but all of his money was taken care of. He didn't have to worry about logging into his account and forgetting to make a payment and then having a late fee and anything like that. You know, what if something were to happen where you were sick or in the hospital or whatever may happen and you forget, you know, very innocently to pay a bill? It's already taken care of. It's already there. You don't have to worry about late fee. Get to the point in your finances where you're a month ahead, where you can pay a month ahead, where you can have your bills automated. You don't have to worry about going into overdraft. So yes, people talk about $1,000 emergency fund. I personally believe that you should have 1 month's worth of expenses as a buffer in your checking account. Say something happens, you're good. Say, you know, your paycheck is delayed a couple days. Say a bill comes out early or you have an unexpected bill. You have that money there so that you don't have to worry, you don't have to stress, you don't have to pause payments because you have other bills coming. No, get 1 month ahead so that you can have the peace of mind and things can just automate and you don't have to worry about late fees, you don't have to worry about overdraft or anything like that, and have it in your account so that it's good to go. The next step is to have regular budget meetings, and I'll be honest, this is something that Jamie and I struggle with, and it's hard with how much he travels and how busy he is. And you know, when he comes home from a trip, the last thing that I want to do is, hey, let's have a money meeting, and he's just exhausted and doesn't want to have a money meeting. But have regular money meetings. Check in with your spouse, check in with your accountability partner. That's so important to make sure that you're aligned, to make sure that the other person, if it's your spouse, is, you know, being fed, and not being fed like food, but like their I don't want to say emotional needs are being met. Like, you know, are they not getting enough date night? Are they, you know, really missing their Starbucks every once in a while? Are they, you know, just their needs being met and their emotional needs? And sometimes that, you know, sometimes they may be afraid to say, hey, can I have $20 extra a month in personal spending money? That would really make a huge change for me and really help me just have more peace of mind and different things. And, you know, be like, yeah, we can make that happen. And just having those open conversations. But if you're not always having regular budget meetings, they may not know when, you know, to bring it up. So just having those budget meetings, making sure that they are lighthearted, they're fun, they're not fights, maybe over a date night or over, you know, pizza night or something like that. But just having them fun. My friend Justine with Debt Free Millennials, they do beers and budgeting. So, you know, something fun and lighthearted that her and her husband can do, and have a beer and take the edge off. The next one is say no to debt. So if you're in your debt-free journey, paying off your debt, say no to accruing new debt. Do not accrue anything else, even if it's the new iPhone, you know, when making the monthly payments. Guys, that's still debt. And, you know, it's still money that you owe. If you want the new iPhone, you need to save cash for it and pay for it outright. And pro tip, if you sell your phone, you can get a couple $100s for your phone if it's not all jacked up. But say no to new debt. You know, make this a year that you are paying off debt and not accruing new debt. You know, your car may be on the fritz, so start, you know, maybe pause your debt, snowball or avalanche, and save up money for a car and, you know, pay cash for it instead. But saying no to new debt. If you are debt free, please be saying no to no new debt. The only debt that you should be accruing is, you know, properties or mortgage, anything like that. That's actually going to be good debt and help make you money. All right, guys, we're going to keep this going with side hustles and talk about side hustle ideas, different side hustles that you can do in 2020 to make a difference and to really help catapult your goals, achieve them faster. I have a whole playlist for you guys, so I'll see you in that playlist.